Welcome to the Life Science Cloud Pre-Validated PLM Solution presentation. I'm James Goodell. I'm Business Development for North America. Included with me in the presentation will be Blake Herman. He is the Global Technia Cloud Lead for Technia as a whole. So our agenda we're going to go through today, we're going to start out why the Life Sciences Cloud. Why are we doing this and what makes it unique? What the solution offering is overall. Integration landscape, so to be able to have the ability to reach out and integrate into your PLM system, to your ERP system, and to different systems you may have internally, plus maybe different point solutions that have been brought in over time to complete your overall PLM experience. Cloud by Technia, so from an infrastructure standpoint, what makes this unique, offering cloud solutions. And in closing, we'll cover a few closing comments and open up for questions and answers. So why Life Sciences Cloud? We look at the main business drivers that are facing medical device manufacturers today. It's around accelerating your new product introduction cycle time so you can get more product out faster. Also having to deal with the increased regulatory scrutiny that goes with that. And the product complexity, whether you're doing class 2 or class 3 designs, or you're doing combo products. All those play into this. Also, being able to have faster access to those high quality devices. How can I ensure quality of the devices I'm manufacturing today and where I can do variants of those or similars to those? Overall reducing costs to the organization and also be able to get this into emerging countries, so be able to develop this in emerging countries or be able to sell this in emerging countries. So those are typically the main business drivers we're seeing from our customers today. So if you look at a lot of the issues that our customers are dealing with out there in the industry, missing deadlines from a regulatory submission process where you don't have all the information available to you or you have wrong information, inefficiency or product development processes, a lot of manual processes, a lot of data silos, a lot of time-consuming efforts. Integrity of your data, especially when you're working on multiple different platforms, have different silos of information, bringing all that together from a data integrity standpoint is a challenge for some organizations as well. Not be able to collaborate against product as you're going through the old development process has an impact on the quality of your product as well as the timeliness of your product. Also be able to have, common submission processes for regulatory approval. So there's a lot of issues with that, especially when you're dealing with multiple countries and be able to harmonize that. Dealing with regulatory inquiries that come up, real-time visibility into the data, really having to look at your challenging timelines and having real-time visibility into your overall product development process and where you're at, can lead to market delays and complaint submissions as well. So we look at the observed pains for many of the medical device companies out there. And if you really look at, all the silos sitting out there, surprisingly, a lot of companies have these scenarios out there where it's easier to bring in a point solution to the organization because you don't have to go through a lot of approval processes and you're really looking for that point solution to solve your business problem within your area of the organization. But the problem that lends to this is that if a lot of the different departments throughout your business go to point solutions, trying to integrate that to have that common thread of information, that real-time version of the truth, that one version of the truth, become a daunting challenge. And the reason why a lot of companies haven't moved towards a PLM system is just because of what they would deem as the complexity of doing that. So being able to go through a PLM selection process and going through the whole implementation and deployment of that, the validation, to be integrating into specific systems within the organization, is very time consuming and very costly. And that's one of the main drivers of what we have addressed here with the cloud solution that we're offering, is to be able to bring these islands of automation that currently exist out there today and bring them on a single platform so that you can drive value for your organization and meet all those business drivers we had discussed before. So this will truly take you from these silo-based designs, dealing with documents and so on and so forth, into really a digitally connected, data-driven, model-based approach. So you have a single platform that is containing all your data. You have the ability to eliminate as many silos as possible. We all understand that there may be solutions and systems that you still want to rely on going forward, but be able to integrate those within the platform itself so you have that holistic view, that one version of the truth, and really establish that digital connectivity and be able to unite all your functions in your organizations throughout the whole value chain, so that everybody has the ability to visualize and utilize one system throughout, and really tune this into a model-based approach where you can have all the information available, whether it's multi-physics, your behavior model, your social collaboration, your decision support, all within one platform. That's extremely one of the big values of being able to go to this type of solution set. So what are the benefits of the Life Science Cloud solution from Technia? So we base the solution upon Dassault Systems' licensed secure portfolio that has been out in the marketplace for many years and has many large companies and small companies utilizing it. And we're also including validation accelerators with that. So what we're trying to do is achieve a total time to value for our customers, by having a repeatable, streamlined implementation timeline and reduce the complexity of launching and deploying a PLM solution. Also providing integrations to disparate systems, such as your ERP systems or other point solutions, maybe ALM, like Atlassian, or even to maybe those silos, one or more of those silos that you may have out there for overall solution sets. So one size doesn't always fit all, and we know we need to integrate, so that's part of the overall solution. And that's the integration framework that we're utilizing is it's designed for the cloud. And truly, this is going to reduce the barrier to entry for customers out there or companies that may be interested in this. By having that predefined package solution set, has validation accelerators, has ability to integrate, truly reduce that complexity and reduce the barrier to entry for companies. And really, you can start evolving your PLM implementation and address your most painful areas. So again, you may not want to start off and do everything. You may want to pick a couple painful areas within the organizations and address those first, and then build upon your success. So we've architected this so that that is possible for companies as well. And then agreed upon upgrades. Okay, everybody gets a little excited when they hear cloud, and am I going to be forced into upgrades? Now we're going to agree upon upgrades, with an SLA process of how we're going to address those with you, and do it based upon your timeline and not our timeline. And then we also are offering prepackaged support offerings. So if you're out there floundering in the wind, you have the ability to have technical expertise behind this to be able to solve problems, to be able to address situations as they come up, to ensure that you are meeting your uptime and your SLAs to your organization. We're also enabling workflow to really streamline the solution, automate the solution where necessary, to reduce the complexity of the overall solution for casual users that are coming in and need to review and improve something, so that their user experience is much more streamlined for the job that they have in hand. And then we're also applying our Light My Way digital adoption solution from Technia as well, so that you can define process steps within the overall solution. So if I need to go and create a change order, let's say, you can walk a person through creating the change order process, or maybe even as they get further in creating that where they may get stuck on something. What is this? They can enable this. So really will reduce the complexity of training for your people and be able to really allow them to understand the ability of the system, how to use the system. Okay, and then also DS has a clear strategy of moving everything to the cloud over time. So our strategy is to provide complementary solutions and services to our customers. So again, what does CATIA bring to the table? So kind of the center of the box there, the license secure portfolio. Power by, ability to bring in that data-driven, that model-driven information into the platform, whether it be CAD tools that are shown here or others. And oh, by the way, CATIA is a reseller of CATIA and SOLIDWORKS, and we have a global support organization that manages SOLIDWORKS accounts. Also, if you look at from a team perspective, we've got people that have a combined knowledge over 500 years of experience in the life sciences industry. We've also had people been around since the first iteration of this, all the way through all 3 generations of life sciences solutions, all the way back from the Matrix 1 days. We have a lot of experience with multiple customer engagements from a global perspective, but also from startup companies as well. So we've seen both sides of the spectrum. We have a lot of business process expertise that we can bring to the table around streamlining processes and how to implement the solution. And then enterprise implementation expertise. And we've also, have many customers that we've, done upgrades, done implementations, deployments for. And on the back end, we also have MES experience for your DHRs and your computer software validation CSV experience as well. So if we look at a quick validation process, and Sean Leslie will be available throughout this event to be able to answer more specific questions around validation and deployment options. But we built our validation process around this as a template, as a baseline. So as we baseline the solutions, we will have those validation templates available, all the documentation behind it, all the traceability down to the test cases and such, so that you can feel comfortable that you have a validation package that you can move forward with quickly. And if you need to make customization, make changes to the applications, or even down to approval processes, those templates can be utilized and expanded on to address your local requirements. But the good news is you don't have to start from the beginning and go through it. Okay, from a solution offering standpoint, it's good to know what we address from an overall FDA perspective. So we have all the FDA requirements on the left-hand side, and then we have in the middle all the different licensed secure portfolio solution offerings. And on the right-hand side, we have what those address. So you can see that there's a lot of regulations that need to be addressed here from an overall perspective. As you can see that there are multiple applications that can be deployed within the platform itself. And again, it's one of those things where you can either decide to use everything or use things that make sense for your organization where you're having difficulties today or experience issues. So here's how all the different solution offerings from the SO systems come into play with addressing those regulatory requirements, all the way down from a platform level for all the electronic records and signatures. So we get a little more detail around that. So if you think of an overall development life cycle, you go through concept all the way down to end of life for a product. And that encompasses many different phases of different solution sets that need to be utilized, all the way from product design to CAD design down to manufacturing, management, from post-market management standpoint. So many different areas. And the key with the 3D Experience platform and the license secure portfolio is, while it addresses things like document control, quality control, change control, means this is on the 3D Experience platform, you can also do design simulation. You can also do manufacturing simulation. You can define all your manufacturing process planning and everything within the platform itself. So be able to cover this throughout the entire process with one version of the truth. And that's what the 3D Experience platform brings to play. So Dassault Systems has many different applications out there, and we're going to focus in the license to cure. And the license for document control, license for requirement change, DHF change, DMR change, regulatory, and quality are what we're going to have prepackaged and with the validation offering within the licenses cloud. License for green, that's one of those things that's going to be very customer specific, and especially based upon their requirements that they have from a material compliance standpoint. But the good news with our cloud is that we can add that in and be able to go through and validate that for you as part of an implementation process. So if you look at the requirement change, so the ability to generate those requirements all the way through the process and have that traceability. One of the things that was impacted upon me from a customer back in early 2000s. I have to be able to have that, trace that requirement all the way through product development down to what was shipped and to the product that's out in the field. I have to be able to have that traceability. So that's what this brings to the table. So you have all your requirements and test cases within a single repository. You have the ability to collaborate against that information and be able to tie it directly, from the requirement all the way to the end. So you have the full traceability of requirements down to the product structure, your BOMs, and it really is going to automate the integration, your design input chapter of your DHF as well. So very important for many organizations to have that traceability from requirement standpoint. Also DHF change, the problems with DHFs, and especially in the past, I remember walking in and having multiple 3-ring binders sat down in front of me, and this is how we do our DHF for this product. And my gosh, how can you even begin to manage that and have global visibility to that? So the key here is to have you have to have a very flexible solution to be able to manage this more like a living document than just a 3-ring binder full of stuff. But you want to automate this where you can have a lot of this information, your design inputs, your outputs, things of that nature, to be able to have your design verification, design validation all the way through the process, but be able to have that so that it comes together from other areas of the organizations, like from your device master record. So now you have this living, breathing document, again, with one version of the truth. So you have a fully flexible and managed product development workflow process. You can include your SOPs within this. You can auto-populate your DHF. You can do your unified product definition, your risk analysis, and you have that bidirectional traceability again with your DHF, with your DMR, your requirements and regulatory dossiers that you're going to develop throughout the whole solution set. And you can also have the version DHF linked to the product line information as well. So we have full visibility for the organization. So if you look at device master record, this is very complex. If you look at all the inputs that go into this, from product engineer, from your different CAD systems, into your specifications, your engineering bill of material, to your artwork manager, your packaging, your labeling, your quality, where you have all your procedures, your work instructions, your standard operating procedures, and then all the way down to your manufacturing BOM management as well. So many, many touch points within this. And there's where a lot of those islands automation come into play, where we had silos out there. A lot of companies I've dealt with have had a ton of those things, and it becomes almost an insurmountable task to bring that all together. So really this brings together one platform, the ability to have your EBOM, your MBOM, your DMR, really in that single repository. You have your MBOM defined from this, so that changes are made, are going to be reflected in your MBOM. And then you have all your change control processes that not only manage your BOM and DMR, but later on all your SOPs and things of that nature too. So fully integrated again with 3D design. Also have the ability to go into your material compliance information as well if needed. So REACH and RoHS and things like that in your BOM. You can have that automatic integration with your chapters, your DHF. And you can integrate your parts and assembly cost information to BOM as well if necessary. And all your affected product information by a change on a part has that traceability in it. So very key to this. So license for regulatory addresses the whole regulatory affairs process. So be able to identify, what products you investigate, review and approve that, generate and submit, and have traceability management. Be able to govern that whole process and coordinate the activities. Be able to bring together all the quality information necessary for that submission and be able to share that information with the proper stakeholders and then manage any product safety events that may come about. So it's really a deliverable-based project submission. Again, it's how many countries I'm going to do this against, so I can track that throughout the whole product level, be able to track those FDA questions that may come in, your GU, DID submissions and approvals. So it really gives you a lot of power on how to manage your submission process and your effect process as it may come about. And then license for quality, so your complaint management, your CAPA audit, non-conformance management, to be able to utilize that within the platform as well. And the key to that is, have that full traceability. And again, if I'm reviewing a product or submitting a product or want to make a similar or a derivative of this product, I have full visibility on all the corrective actions, all non-conformances, complaints may have occurred, so that as I make a decision if I want to make a variant of this product or not, or clone it for something similar, I have all that information history to understand where problems have occurred and come up and how they've been addressed. And then document control. We can't forget about this. We've got SOPs and things of that nature within the organization we have to address and manage the change control process. So it's really a unified documents referential where I can have everything within the platform. We've got a workflow that's enabled to bring this out and roll that out within the organizations. We can also do the training completion tracking if so desired. And it really has had the immersive access to your Microsoft integrations as well. So your SOPs are transposition workflow templates, and be able to find that and pass that around the organization. And your control document, can be used in other areas such as your DMR regulatory submission processes. So we discussed the integration capabilities that we're bringing to bear within the solution itself. So if we look at the integration landscape itself, we're really utilizing our technical integration framework. And this framework has been designed to be very configurable in nature. So as your needs change on your solutions that you're integrating to and what you need to pass over to 3D Experience, those things can be configured, through XML definitions. And we have experience of linking this, integrating in with multiple, third-party solutions such as CRM, software management like Jira, other PDM systems, work group systems, whether ECAD or MCAD, ERP, we've done a lot of integrations out there. So we know that a lot of organizations are already going to have systems in place that we have to integrate to. And the beauty of our cloud offering is the ability to go and integrate that. So integration also gives you performance and traceability information as well. So it has its own user interface, and so you can track on what's going on, jobs have been submitted, any jobs that failed. You can integrate this from a standpoint of direct integrations or to messaging queues for Enterprise Service Bus. And we can also scale the solution. So if your integration landscape is quite large where we need to scale out to multiple solutions, that's the beauty of the cloud and beauty of the integration framework. We can go do that. So we can have load balancers in the front for REST-based integrations to be able to integrate between TIFF itself and your other systems, and also to have those more messaging, more direct integrations into different solution sets that we need to integrate to.
Hello everybody, my name is Blake Herman and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Technia's cloud offering. So from the beginning, when we came up with this concept for cloud hosted solutions, we really wanted it to be three key, kind of three key fundamental principles, and that was to make sure it was extremely secure, that it had flexibility built in from the ground up, so that our customers did have the option of adapting the PLM system to fit their needs. And we also wanted it to be scalable, from the smallest customer all the way up to some of the largest customers out there that are using 3D Experience platform even on premise. So those were kind of the three key driving factors. But also, really what we're looking for is something that was very quick and easy for a customer to be up and running with. It doesn't take much effort on the customer side to do this. Again, I mentioned the secure data. Every one of our cloud environments is private to you as a customer. We're not sharing any components between one customer to the next. And we want it to be available, kind of in a high availability situation, 24/7, anywhere you are in the world. But also take the load off of your internal IT group in terms of having to manage a PLM system. So, but at the end of the day, it's about getting up and running quickly and taking some of those barriers out of the way. Now, if we also layer in some additional benefits here of being able to control when, we call it controlled release management, but really what that means is, you as a customer get to control and decide when it's time to upgrade the system, or, we're not going to force any of these upgrades on you, but you'll be involved in the process of deciding, yep, this upgrade makes sense, and we can schedule that and plan that update with you whenever it makes sense. We also give you the ability to have advanced integration capabilities built in with the Technia integration framework. We do allow you to plug into your other enterprise systems like ERP or CRM to be able to take advantage of those. So we do give you that layer on top of our cloud offering that does provide those extended capabilities. But we also, again, kind of go back to that enhanced configurations, and for that we use some of the Technia provided tools to allow you to adapt the system to meet your particular needs, all while maintaining that upgradability that's very important over time. So some of the key benefits to cloud-hosted PLM kind of in general, but in particular Technia's offering, is what we found is that by putting this in cloud, we're able to improve application performance everywhere. At companies' remote global sites. In some cases, we can even improve performance at the main sites. So by using the best of breed cloud provider backbone, we can really streamline and make that application perform extremely well to the customer's needs or to the end user's needs. So we also improve reliability of the system by using automation wherever possible. Technia has been around a long time, and we've built quite a few automated tools to allow for making code changes, but we don't want anybody going in and doing any manual steps at all in the process, and that helps us really improve the quality of the system at the end. We also have built in some capabilities using tools provided by the cloud provider that we feel we're using in a very innovative way, and that is to use their auto scaling capability. So as user loads grow, if you need more capacity, the system can automatically scale to that need and then scale itself back down whenever the load is reduced. But also we've built in some self-healing capabilities, so if any of the components become unstable, they can be automatically destroyed, restarted, and put back in online as quickly as possible, in many cases without the users even noticing that anything happened. So by using the cloud technologies as well, we do help you optimize the cost. So as opposed to an on-premise solution where you have to have enough hardware provision in order to handle the worst case scenarios, the cloud really allows you to scale it to what you need, not that maximum worst case scenario. So, and because you have the ability to pay for certain services by the hour, This allows us to really scale up. If you're a company that only has a 40-hour a week, peak usage model, then we can run these services for 40 hours a week and then scale it back to the bare minimum for all those other hours that the system's not being used. So it does provide a cost savings and benefit by doing that. Again, back to the automation, it does help us improve the quality, and we are using some of our own specialized applications to provide those integration capabilities, as well as some of the monitoring tools that we put in place that are really going to help you, get some insights into the performance of the application and help us make sure that it's running to its best capability. So, and typically with the cloud providers, they tend to release new types of machines and hardware on a very frequent basis. I just got a note today from Amazon saying that they have a new class of machine that improves performance by 40%, and it's at the same price point that it was in the older equipment. So when I say upgrading performance while lowering cost, or you can upgrade your performance while maintaining the same cost over time, or on the same equipment, you can lower your cost year over year. So there's multiple options there depending on what the need is. Rather than having to swap out hardware in a data center, leveraging the cloud gives you a lot of, really powerful capabilities to help save money long term. So we've had some customers as well kind of point out that, they're looking to move to cloud to prevent themselves from being, exposed to ransomware attacks. Because of the way we've structured the data in the cloud, there is no access to any end user to any of the back-end file systems that are contained in cloud, which gives you that layer of protection that no matter what happens on a user's PC, there's no way those malware attacks are going to find their way into the back end of the system. So this does give you kind of an improvement over even having these systems in-house. So in the world that we live in now, we have a lot of people working from home or remote office workers. And really what the cloud gives you is the ability to give everybody a really good, solid connection without having to be routed through your corporate data center in order to get back to the public internet. So we can take advantage of those connections that everybody already has at home and not put that extra load on the VPN servers in a corporate world. We also provide for the life sciences market the pre-validated setup. So whenever we turn this on, you're going to get that validated environment ready for you to go. So without all those extra steps that you normally would have to go through in order to validate a system of this scale and scope. So some of the optional things that we have for people who do want to make changes to their environment over time is we can put together some continuous and automated validation. So that way, whenever these changes are made, you're able to, simply rerun the validation script and output that without going through the quite as much rigorous effort that is normally required for that. So that's some of the things we offer as a value-added service. If you want really improved disaster recovery, again, these things come with an additional cost in order to have a really short recovery point or recovery time objectives. But those are achievable using some of the cloud backbone that's available to us. And if you need a high availability with 5 nines of availability on this, we do have the ability to roll that out for you as well. And from a quality and certification point of view, we are Technia certified ISO 9001. We are working towards at the end of this year, early next year, a 27001 ISO compliance as well. Our back-end providers, primarily Amazon Web Services has that certification already from a back-end point of view, as well as Dassault Systems provides some ISO certifications as well for quality of the platform. So with that, I know it was a kind of a quick summary, but
in closing, we at Technia are very excited to bring this solution to the market. We're looking at Q4 for a launch, and we're very excited from the standpoint of companies being able to realize our total time to value in a much less costly and time-consuming format than going out and evaluating, selecting the PLM system, and doing all the work that needs to be done and validating it, and the time it takes to go do all that and costs can be quite discouraging for many organizations. At Technia, we have experience with many customers out there, throughout our career and as a company, and we're excited to bring that industry experience to you with this prepackaged solution based upon best practices and DS's licensed secure portfolio. So whatever you need, we're here to help you, whether it be from a software standpoint, services, infrastructure, or knowledge. To help you out, that is the key for our organization. We're here to help you with whatever you need. If you have any questions, and we are more than happy to take those at the end of our session here. So we'll open it up for questions. Thank you so much.